DJ Nihilus here. We're at FamFest 2022. I have Josh Teed, an amazing producer and violin player. He's about to perform in about an hour. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. It's been a day of traveling. Just came in from Pittsburgh this morning, then had a nice drive up here. But yeah, it's been real good so far, getting to see a bunch of friends up here that I haven't in a while.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a long travel day for me too, but it's been so worth it. So you actually played the first FamFest, I believe it was 2018, I want to say. How's it feel?
I think.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
hell yeah. So how does it feel now to come back as one of the headliners? I believe this is this fifth year.
Man, it's honestly a really full circle, special kind of feeling, you know? FamFest, the first year of it was the first festival that I ever played. So being able to come back and get down at night with all the friends and family that I started it with is something really special, man. I'm very excited for it.
Hell yeah. So talk a little bit about your sound. You play violin on stage, but you're also, from a production side, is very bassy, it's very energetic, but also has that kind of spiritual world melodic sound. Talk about your sound and how you feel about it.
Man, so I really love bass music, obviously. So I also have a lot of melodic influence, having grown up playing the violin and being in symphony, orchestra, bands, and whatnot. So I wanted to find a way that I can mesh the melodic side of things with the experimental sound design that I really enjoy so much. And I think on this album that I have coming out in the winter, it's really close to what I've been shooting for the last few years, and I think it's getting there.
No, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, you've been crushing that sound for years. So I'm obviously, as an artist, you always feel like your newer stuff gets more and more self-realized.
You do.
But I'm excited to hear what this new album sounds like, you know. So when we met, it was in 2019, and it was, again, a very super energetic set. It literally had me, I was supposed to go to bed, and I just could not go to bed. I was like, I got to say that this Josh Teed set. So when you look back on those like early sets, and then versus now playing all over the country, how do you feel like you've evolved as a performer? How do you think your sets have changed?
Man, it's a lot more now of understanding the flow of energy in a set and how I want to control it. I don't want it to be run-on tunes where it's like a drop on a drop on a drop. I want to have a couple like that and then bring it back down and let it breathe for a bit and kind of take people on a little bit of a trip as opposed to just hitting them with song after song like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's been one thing that's changed. Another is definitely refining the tone of the violin live. That took a lot of time to figure out and get to a point where I was really happy with.
Nice.
But now it's getting kind of dialed in. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I imagine you like the style of playing that you have curated for violin with bass music is different than the stuff you were doing back in the orchestra.
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of influence from that classical kind of sound, and I try to pay homage to that in my style, but it's a lot of different sounds that I grew up playing. So like I came up with Celtic, jazz, some metal even. So being able to play classical and then kind of riff off of that and bring all that other stuff in makes it really unique for me.
Awesome, great. So you are someone who loves to collaborate. You have a lot of collaborations with Not Low, Little Fish, Avello, just to name a few. What is your favorite part about collaborating, and how do you feel you get the most out of it?
I feel like collaborating is super, super necessary to be able to see people's workflow and trains of thought outside of yours, because it's so easy when you're in the studio by yourself all the time working on tunes to get stuck in your own trains of thought. And other people are going to approach that same process from a totally different angle, and seeing that will really refresh your ideas and how you want to move forward with your music, you know? And on top of that, being able to work on music with people who inspire my music is just a treat in and of itself. For sure. Like, Murillo is one of those guys that I've been listening to for ages, man. Zach, shout out Murillo, is one of the most underrated musicians out there, dude.
Yeah, on the drums, he crushes it.
Yeah, great reggae drummer, great musician. So, like, being able to work with these kind of people is just something that I really enjoy. And even from growing up, I used to jam with all my friends in the kitchen and stuff. So being able to share music with friends is just one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that's what music is about. Like, you know, as producers, we all sit in our bedroom and we really just kind of communicate what comes from our soul. But I think that once you mesh that with other people, that's when you get really the highest forms of art.
Absolutely.
So speaking of collaborations, your most recent one with Common Creation just landed on Clozy's Odyssey music label. So talk a bit about the process of creating that song and how it feels with this whole experience.
So that song with Common Creation, we had been working on for probably a year and a half or so. I actually probably started it around, no, about a year, because I started around this time last year, and it was a super cinematic, really string-heavy intro that I put together with a little bit of drop, and I sent it over to Chris, and he's like, yeah, we can work with that. So he added a little bit of spikes into the beginning, and then kind of worked some more synths into the drop, and then built out like that whole second half to it, and yeah, it was a pleasure to work with him for sure, because I've listened to his music for years as well. He's another one of those cats, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really fun. Also, shout out to Closey for putting on all the underground artists that she put on with that compilation. You don't see that often, and there's so much good music on there.
It's been great. I feel like with a lot of those bigger artists, whenever they start a label, it really helps to push a sound, and it's great to see her pushing that kind of more world melodic sound, which, because I feel like it's very underrepresented in bass music as a whole. You know.
Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely some people out there putting it on, but it's not towards the foremost thing. You know, like Gravitas does a really good job with that sound.
Yeah, they're legends.
Yep. High Vibe Records is really good out of California. They're great. Yeah, there's a few people out there doing it. But
Yeah, so releases with Closey, releases with Gravitas, all I'm sure are bucket list goals for you. What do you envision next? You said you're releasing an album. What do you see coming in the next year or so?
So with the album's been in the works for over 2 years, so I'm really excited to put the finishing touches on that and get it out to people. I feel like it's a new step in my musical progression, and I'm very excited on it. And after the album comes out, we're going to be working on a winter tour.
Oh, great.
Yep, it's the first time I'm going to be able to bring touring support with me on tour, so that's really exciting.
Awesome.
Just be able to put my friends on and bring them out to different cities and play music together is going to be sweet.
Can you talk about who that is, or hasn't
Not
been
quite
announced
yet.
yet? Okay, I got you. I got you, for sure. So we're excited for that. We're excited for the album. Josh T, thank you for the interview. Tell people where they can find you.
Absolutely. You guys can find me on SoundCloud. It's just my name, Josh T as in Tom, E-E-D like David. And also on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. And I'm on Instagram as well, just Josh T Music. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Appreciate you.